Well, in Australia and around the globe, women are drastically underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, arts and math fields. This year, Vogue Australia has launched an all-new virtual series featuring a lineup of local and international speakers to encourage female innovation. Earlier, I spoke to Vogue Australia's Editor-in-Chief, Edwina McCann. Edwina, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Firstly, can you give us a bit of a background on the Vogue Codes? How did it all begin?
So Vogue Codes started 5 years ago, and it was born of the idea that I was actually talking to McCann and he was discussing how difficult it was to find women, particularly in the areas of coding and development for Atlassian. And when I started looking into it further, I mean, the data was just atrocious. The number of young women who were engaged in STEAM education was really poor, and yet we knew it wasn't a skills issue. There was no distinction between the skills of young men and women. So we decided that we should leverage the Vogue brand to attract more women into areas of technology and make them consider a career in technology, and just how broad those fields are.
It's a wonderful initiative. Why do you think that there is such an underrepresentation of women in the STEAM areas?
I think it's a systemic problem. I think that, you know, when we look at our schooling, we don't quite understand why so many young women are giving up sciences. I think it goes right back to mums saying to their daughter, oh, I wasn't very good at maths either. I was better at, you know, at languages and I think, or English. And I think that oddly, it's just become a kind of something that's accepted. We all know that you know, science can be a particularly male-dominated area as well. Obviously, the areas of engineering, very similar. You know, technology and engineering. Really, I think sometimes it's the name of the course. It's as simple as that. Women aren't necessarily attracted to a course that's called engineering. And if we renamed it and were clear about the fact that innovation and technology is at its heart about creativity, I think women are very attracted to the creative fields. And the more we can explain that technology is an opportunity to be creative, offers an opportunity to be creative, and will indeed affect every area of the employment market going forward. Certainly through COVID-19, we've seen that we are absolutely reliant on technology. And so the idea that women won't be able to participate to the same levels and equally in the workplace is pretty scary.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to encourage women to take part in these fields. Now, Edwina, you have had a webinar with Preeti Joshi, the Vice President of Strategy at Bumble. Tell us a bit about that. What did you talk about?
So Preeti was wonderful because she's a strategist. She came from McKinsey's, and so she really understands how, I guess, technology businesses operate. I mean, they have over 90 million users for Bumble, and it's only 5 years old. It's quite an extraordinary technology company, and as we know, started by Whitney because she wanted a platform that was going to be more appropriate for women. But what was fascinating was actually Preeti talking about the changes of behaviour through COVID-19 and dating, the rise of video dating and how popular that had become, risen by something like 78% over the past 2 months. So that was interesting in terms of user behaviour and how that was evolving. But what I love about Preeti is she's so committed to mentoring. And I think when women can see people like Preeti, who it was essentially a strategist, as I mentioned, not a developer, so not a coder, in such a senior role in a very exciting, dynamic and growing technology company, I think, you know, young women can see it and think, well, yeah, that could be me. You don't necessarily have to come through coding to have a career in technology.
Now, can you tell us, you've got a few more upcoming guests, who will be next for this virtual series?
So we've got some wonderful guests. We've got the founder of Adore Beauty. I think Kate Morris will be an incredible guest. Obviously, she's at the forefront of online retailing as well. So I think, you know, a lot of women will be really interested in how you can set up your own business online. And I think Kate brings an extraordinary amount of knowledge in that field. Then we've got the wonderful Maggie, and so she started Pet Talks Her. Maggie Palmer is based in New York, so I think that will be interesting, just hearing about her experiences through lockdown. She actually was here to speak at our last Vogue Codes last year live, and she's a wonderful presenter. So it'll be really interesting to see how she and her business has evolved over time. Now, her platform is about tracking your career, and it really encourages young women to ask for equal pay, to be more forthcoming, to track their own career by recording their own data and keeping it, I guess, a live CV would be a way to describe it, so that it gives you more flexibility. You're more capable of, to suddenly go for a career because you've kind of looked at the way your career is developing, where you are, and you're able to reassess it and think about how you could do better or how you could ask more. And I think the idea that she's got this networking platform as well, where women are encouraging other women to ask for more and demand for more in the workplace, and encouraging them, to really know their worth. So they're really fabulous guests coming up, and I'd encourage people. They're free webinars. That's been one of the great things about starting to produce this campaign and deliver it online as opposed to live. We've been able to do these sessions for free, and of course, once you register, they're easy to join in, no matter where you are, even if you're in your pajamas at home.
Simple and easy, but certainly some wonderful mentors to a number of women on that list. Just finally, Edwina, how can our viewers get involved and find out more about the series?
So if you go to vogue.com.au/Vogue Codes, you'll find all the upcoming events, obviously these webinars that you can just register for, but then some of the live events that we're hoping to hold from September and October onwards around the country. And I'd really encourage women to do that. Look, it has evolved from a conversation around just getting women involved in careers in technology and realising that this is a vital part of their career training, no matter where they see themselves ending up. But it really has become a conversation about diversity as well. That technology, that's something Mike said to me at that time. Never before in human history has the information required by everybody been held by so few. And that's just not a sustainable future. We need to, at the very least, be tech literate, be able to have an informed conversation with a developer, understand how many people and what developing a product should cost online, be able to understand social media marketing. I think we need to be literate in so many tech areas now to do any job well. So I do hope that more women in particular, but everybody, gets more involved in the Vogue Codes program this year.
Absolutely. A wonderful initiative and so much advice and mentorship out there. Edwina McCann, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.